Good morning, students. I hope you are all doing good. Since I will be taking your test on Tuesday, so before taking, this is a revision of the chapter that we have learned till now. That is sorting materials into groups. In this chapter, we have learned three. We have questioned the three. That is, what is sorting, why we will need to do sorting, and how we will do sorting. Now let's come to the first question. That is, what is sorting? What is sorting? Sorting means to separate the things of one type from others, that is placing similar objects together. As we have seen, the books are kept in shelves, bookshelves, and food items are kept in kitchen. Now comes to the second, that is what is material. Since we are dealing with the sorting materials, then we have to know what is material. The material is that material are those who occupy space and have mass, and it can be felt by our sense organs. We have sense organs: ear, eyes, nose, tongues, skin. So it will be felt by any of these sense organs. Now comes to the second question, why we need to do sorting. Why we need to do sorting? We know that if we group the things, then it will help us to locate the things easily, and at the same time it will save time and becomes convenient to study its property. Suppose you want to go somewhere's party and you want a dress, so you are in a hurry. So what will you do? You will go to the almirah, straight away to the almirah, and find a one fine dress and you will wear and you will go. So it helps us to locate the things, save time, and becomes convenient to study its property. Now comes to how we will do sorting. We know why we need to do sorting. Now the third question comes, how we will do the sorting. We will do sorting or group the materials based on what? Based on different properties. And what are the properties? So these are the properties. There are different properties: transparent, hard, flexible, soft, roughness. Now let's see what are the properties. The properties is, first property is appearance. And appearance we will learn about what? Lustrous and non-lustrous. In second property is hardness. We will learn hard or soft, we will learn here. Third property is rough or smooth. It is rough to touch or smooth to touch. The fourth is solubility. Solubility means, as we have learned, is whether it will be dissolved or it will not be dissolved. That is soluble or insoluble. And under insoluble, we have learned another thing, that is flotation. That is float or sink. Now comes to fifth properties, that is transparency. That is whether it is transparent material, translucent material, or opaque material. And comes to the sixth one, that is source, natural or man-made. Depending upon the source, how they're available, indirectly or indirectly, we can group them, that is natural and man-made. Now comes to the first property, that is appearance. Appearance means how material looks. That means we know that material looks, and under the property which comes, that is lustrous and non-lustrous. Lustrous means what? That it is shiny and bright materials. Shiny and bright materials are lustrous, and non-shiny dull materials are non-lustrous. And what is the example? Example is metal, gold. We have seen gold shines, iron, aluminiums. You know, these are the metals, and these metals are also good conductor of heat and electricity. And what are the non-lustrous material? Wood. As you have seen that here, you can see I have given an example in a table, that is non-lustrous: plastic, cotton, rubber. These are all non-lustrous. And for the lustrous, platinum, gold, silver, iron, aluminium. These are all what? These are all metals. Now comes to the second property, that is hardness or softness. That is whether it is hard or it is soft. How we will understand? So if the materials is difficult to compress, scratch, or stretch, then we call it as hard material. See, as I have seen in the picture, you can say that we cannot compress it, neither we can scratch it. So we can say it is a hard material. But what is soft? Soft are those which can be compressed, scratch, stretch. These are all soft materials. If the soft materials can be compressed, stretch, or scratch, we call them soft. So what is hard? It is difficult to compress or scratch or stretch. And what is soft? It can be compressed, stretch, or scratch easily. An example of the hard is duster, glass. An example of soft is chalk and cotton. As you can see here, a different example is that wool, clothes, these are all soft material. Now comes to the third property, that is rough or smooth. Whether it is the material is rough or smooth, rough to touch or smooth to touch. The rough materials are rough or sharp to touch, and smooth materials are smooth or soft to touch. As you can see, in a rough material, the example is sandpaper, and as I have given the picture, and you can see here the picture is that you can see, you will feel uneasy when you touch this ball. You will not feel something itchy. This is rough material. And skin, zinc, these are all smooth. As you can see, this is silk cloth, and you can see this is so smooth. This is so smooth that when you will touch it, you will feel so easy and it will feel so soft. So these are soft and rough materials difference. Now comes to the next property, that is solubility in water. What does it mean? The ability to dissolve. The material has the ability to dissolve in water, and under them we have grouped the material that is soluble and insoluble. What is soluble? The soluble is that is it is ability to be dissolved in water or disappear in water. For example, salt. In last class we have seen that salt was disappearing slowly in water. And for the insoluble, with water insoluble, the insoluble which does not dissolve in water or disappear in water. You can see the example, that is sand. As you can see that when you are dissolving, when you are mixing sand in water, you can see that clayiness or muddiness of the water. So we can say that sand is insoluble. Now let's come to the some of the materials which are soluble or insoluble in water and the solubility in water. Sugar and salt, since they are dissolved in water, we call them soluble. Sand, chalk powder, sawdust. What you see? You can see this does not dissolve in water. They are not soluble in water. So we are saying that insoluble. Vinegar and lemon juice, they are liquid and even they are also soluble in water. And you know that when one liquid is dissolving in another liquid, we call them what? We call them miscible. Miscible means soluble which is used for only liquids. Now comes to the next, mustard oil, coconut oil, kerosene. These are all insoluble in water. We have seen in our home, you can perform in your home that whenever you will take some water, pour some oil, you will see that oil is not mixing. They are floating on water. Now comes to the oxygen. Oxygen is a gas and it is also dissolved in water. It is also soluble in water. And since it is soluble in water, this oxygen dissolved in water are essential for the survival of aquatic life, for the respiration. Oxygen dissolved in water are essential for the survival and respiration for the aquatic life. We need oxygen to breathe, and this aquatic life also need oxygen to breathe. Now comes to the next property, that is float or sink. Float or sink, that comes under which? This is because of the insoluble property. As we have seen that when some materials which are insoluble, they either float and they either sink. And why they float? Because the objects that are less denser than water, because they are denser, they are less denser. They are less denser than water, so they float on water. Example, as you can see, plastic, ball, balloon, paper, these are all float on water. And sink, then which material will sink? The material which sinks are denser than water. They are so denser, they are so heavier that they sink. And the example is rock, stone, sand, chalk, glass. These are all will sink in water. Now comes to the next property, that is transparency. What is transparency? The transparency is ability to see through them, and under which that we categorize the three main properties, that is transparent, translucent and opaque. As you can see that in a translucent, see the example that in translucent we can see the face of the ball. In translucent we are using a one material through which we cannot see clearly but partially, and we call this material translucent. And in opaque material we cannot see. the face of the other material, that what is present in the other material. Now see what is the behavior towards the light. Putting a torch before the object, we can see in a transparent all light passes through them. In transparent, all the light of the torches passes through them. And in translucent, if we place a translucent object, some light of the torch will pass through that, not completely but partially. And for the opaque, no light passes through them. As a result, since no light is passing through them, it will form a shadow. Now let's go through the tabular form. As we can see that we have differentiate what is transparent object, what is translucent, and what is opaque object. Transparent object are those that these objects allow light to pass through them. And translucent, they allow light pass through them but partially. And for opaque, these objects do not allow light pass through them. Another characteristics is one can clearly see through the transparent object. And from translucent, one can see partially, not clearly but partially. And for the opaque, they cannot see anything because it blocks the light to pass through them. And then which object will form a shadow? Transparent objects, since light passes through them completely, they will not form a shadow. Translucent object cast a faint shadow as they block light partially. Opaque object cast a dark shadow as they block light completely. As you have seen, you can see on your right hand side that there is an example of the translucent, transparent, and opaque. Translucent, you can see that we can see the leaf behind the window. Translucent, we cannot see the leaf behind the sunglasses. And for the opaque object, we cannot see the leaf behind we cannot see half of the leaf that is present behind the backpack. Now comes to the next property, that is source. Source means what? Source means are they materials available directly or indirectly? And based on that, we group them up under natural things and man-made things. What are natural things? We know what are natural things. These are obtained from nature and they need not to be prepared. Example, air, water, trees, moon, wind, mountains. These are all natural things. We don't need to prepare them. We drink water, the air we breathe. Do we prepare them? No. These are all available in nature. So they are natural things. What is man-made things? These are made by humans, made by man and women. And these are made by what? By using natural things. For example, chair. The chair on which we are sitting is made up of what? It's made up of wood. And this wood is what? It's coming from where? It is coming from trees. And these trees are natural things. So see that man-made things are made by using natural things. Example, phone, TV, paper, doll, teddy, balls, skateboard. These are all example of man-made things. Now comes the last but not the least, that is object and material. Whom should we call object and whom should we call material? We have discussed this, that object is the thing that is made from one or more material. And material is a thing with the help of which object is made. We use this material to make an object. The object is a thing that is made from one or more material, and material is a thing that is used to make an object. As you can see the example of pencil. Pencil is made up of using 3 or 4 materials. And what are those materials? Rubber, metal, wood, graphite. And these are the materials that has been used to make what? To make pencil. So pencil is object and the material that has been used to make that pen, make that object are materials. Now let's go to the next, that is object. What are the different objects that are made from the large variety of materials? See, from table and chairs, it can be made from wood, plastic, iron. We have in some of our houses, we have a table or chairs made up of wood, made up of plastic, made up of iron. Toys are made up of 3 things: wood, paper, plastic. Shoes made up of leather, shoes we wear. Clothes that we wear are made up of different items, different materials, that is cotton, silk, polyester, nylon. tumbler made up of plastic and glass, utensil made up of plastic, iron, aluminium, steel, and pen is made up of what? Made up of plastic and metal. So now we have understood what is object and what is material. So we are at the end of the chapter. We have completely and summarized the chapter. I hope you have understood. Any query, you can call me, you can message me. And all the best for the exam that I will be taking on Tuesday. Thank you and have a nice day.